Hi everyone, welcome to my Cook at Home series with Tonya here at Cooking on the Bay. Today we're going to be doing a crab crustacea stock, and we're going to use our fish stock that we have been making here as part of it, okay? So this is getting another depth of flavour into your stock making, so you're using one stock to make another stock. And we use this in bouillabaisse and fish soups and fish stews that we make here at Cooking on the Bay, and it does give the most beautiful intense flavour. That's what the restaurants use when they make their bouillabaisse and bourride. Bourride is a French fish stew made with just white fish, okay? Anyway, our crab crustacea stock, I normally use a blue swimmer crab. In fact, I use two blue swimmer crabs, and they've got a beautiful blue colour, and so you have to cook them because you want them to turn red, and the redder they are, the more flavour and colour they give to your stock. Now we're using, or I'm using here, the crustacea that we had as a result of a couple of birthday celebrations Michael and I had during the time of the COVID-19 when we weren't able to go out. So they've been in my freezer, and I want to use them and get rid of them, and I want to make them into this nice stock so that we can use them with some dishes that we're going to be making. So we've got some of the prawn tails. We've got the Morten Bay bugs, as you can see. We'll put them all in. Oh, sorry. Firstly, getting carried away. We want to heat up some oil in the pan. That is important. So I'll do that. So in the stock, we are going to be cooking these, colouring and bringing out the flavour in the shellfish. Then we're going to be adding our leek, our celery, our parsley, about 10 peppercorns, a star anise, and we're going to cook that down. Oh, and then we're going to, when that's cooked down a little bit, we're going to add our tomatoes and our 2 cloves of garlic. Now look, when I look at these things and I say 2 cloves of garlic, I've chosen large cloves of garlic, but if there were small cloves of garlic, you might want to use 4, okay? Something about stock making which is important is that you never put salt in your stock, because when you have a stock, you want to often reduce it to make it into a nice sauce. You want to add it to lots of things, and you don't want it pre-salted. You want to salt at the end of the process. So salting is definitely a no-no in stock making. You want good quality ingredients. You don't want to use crappy old tomatoes from the bottom of your fridge that are looking past their use-by date. You want nice, fresh, good quality ingredients that are going to give life to your stock. You want it to be lively, okay? And when you make your stock, you're looking for a lovely aroma, colour, intensity, which we're getting out of the shellfish, plus the fish stock. There'll be lots of thickness and gelatinous nature from the fish bones, from the fish stock. So it's all about adding beautiful flavour to the dishes that you're cooking. So we'll start again now that you can hear that the oil is getting hot. So we'll throw in our Morten Bay bugs. It's very nice if it happened to be a blue swimmer crab, because you'd see the colour change, and it's lovely to see the blue become deep red. I'm going to break open these little claws to get out that extra flavour from. Okay, so you can see that there's even a little bit of colour leaching out into the oil there. But it's the colour that we're looking for, this lovely depth of flavour from the crustacea that we've got in here. So we will get lots more, but this is an important part. And as I said before, that if this had been the blue swimmer crabs, they look so beautiful, and when they turn this lovely golden cooked colour, they get even better. So now we're going to be adding our nice vegetables. So quite a bit of celery, leeks, this stock I actually made at the Cordon Bleu in Paris in their week-long stock sauce and stock and sauces class, and I was very impressed because it does add that lovely depth of flavour to your soups and fish soups and stews, as you will find out. So, just adding all of this, and to this we're going to be adding our 3 litres of fish stock, which I will strain out. At the end of the process, this is going to cook in the stock for half an hour on that lovely lazy bubble that we've been talking about in our stock making, but a nice blurp at about 95, 98 degrees. So it's not a boil, it doesn't boil like that. You want a nice lazy bubble so that you don't want too much scum to come to the surface of your stock. Any scum that you do get, you just want to remove, okay? You can see, as I'll show you in a moment, in our fish stock, it's not scum, it's just bubble in there. That's clean, good, just bubble. So, our black peppercorns, our star anise, 200 ml of white wine, and then we're going to strain off our strain off the fish stock. So, come around here. Just move this closer. Okay. And I'll try not to spill it. Move all these things out of the way. Oops. So 3 litres is 2 of these jugs. Oh no, 3 of these jugs. Oh, I thought they were 1.5. They're 1 litre each. Oh, you probably should have a look at that fish stock. Can you see how lovely and clear that is? Beautiful colour. Okay, very, very nice. Fabulous flavour. So, after we've done this, we are then going to bring it to the lazy simmer, 95 degrees, and we're going to do that for half an hour, and then I'll show you the process that we're going to put it through in a moment. But it has to go through a particular sort of sieve. It can't go through a strainer like this, the stock, because you're going to punch out all the stock flavouring from the shellfish, and it's that gives the colour and flavour, and aromas from the crustacea there. Okay, so now with this last little bit, excuse me a sec, Michael, if you just move back a bit, I'm going to now put it through the colander, because I don't think I can get too much more out of there. Oh, hang on, I'll go around the other side. Good. Most of it out. Okay. And now you're able to take this out a bit more easily. Don't really need to put it through the strainer anymore, but I will. There's just a little bit of fish stock left for me to freeze for our next fish pie, which will be good. Let's pop this in. Leave it on the, oh, look at this lovely colour here, Michael. Isn't that just beautiful? Don't you love that? Oh gosh. Things that bring joy to your heart, hey? That lovely colour in there, with the beautiful crayfish and vegetables. So now we're just going to wait for that. Oh, that looks so pretty. We're just going to wait for that to come to my lazy bubble. I'll bring it up to 95 degrees, 98 degrees, and we will simmer it like that for 30 minutes, just before you stop there. You right? I'd like to show you the sieve that I'm talking about, that we're going to be putting it through. So it's not one of these, which is a conical strainer with quite big holes. You can see those. That's not so good. This one has a mesh. Okay, so it's a mesh conical strainer. Now you can buy French ones of these, and they cost about $200 or $300. This one is about $150, I think, and I bought it from the Chef's Hat down in South Melbourne. And it's not French, but it's very strong, because what you're going to do with this is you're going to put all of the crustacea in there, and we're going to hammer it down with a nice big thick wooden spoon until we get everything out of it. It can take quite a while, but we'll end up with just a small mass, I guess, of broken crustacea shells and vegetables. All the goodness and all the beautiful flavour will be in the stock, so it's quite an exciting process. Okay, so that's what's coming up after we've got this going on its lazy bubble. Yeah. Okay, so you can see that there's a nice lazy bubble going here, and I'll put my thermometer in, and it's certainly 95 to 98, which is exactly what we want. So this has been cooking now for 30 minutes, so we're going to turn it off, and it's going to infuse its flavours for an hour, and then we will put it through the sieve and remove the shells and the vegetables, okay? Lovely. Okay, so we're going to remove this from the stove, and we're going to put it through my special sieve with the mesh, okay, with the wire mesh. You can't use any other strainer because you'll get little slivers of crustacea shell, okay, so that is not what you want. So we're going to put this in, and this does take some time and some strength, so I'm going to start it, and then you can come back and see the end of the process. So put a fair bit of the crustacea in there. That may almost be enough at the moment to show you what I need to do. Put a little bit of liquid in. putting some of the vegetables through. And so the bigger the implement, the better. If you've got one with a nice big thick end on it, that would be great because it will just work quicker. But I don't, other than my rolling pins, and my rolling pins are too good to wreck on doing this. So the idea is, actually it's working quite well with the spoon end. The idea is to crush all of this through this conical strainer with the mesh, and patiently, once I start getting some coming through, I'll show you. She'll get a nice, is there some coming through? Not quite. Okay, so I'll just keep on going here for a little while. Okay, so after about 20 minutes, I have now managed to push all these shells through this conical sieve, and I have extracted as much flavour as possible from these. So I am now, there wasn't much meat in these because we ate it. So when you use your blue swimmer crabs, you'll find that you will even get more flavour because you'll have the flavour from the inside of the crab. So with the stock that I have here, as you can see, if you come in here, Michael, and see the beautiful colour of the stock, it's got a lovely colour. I did taste it just a moment ago, and it's got a lovely crab flavour, or crustacea flavour, really. So it's really lovely. It is really, really nice. But I'm going to reduce this down for the same reason that I often reduce stocks down, because I don't have enough freezer space and it makes them more intense and you don't need to use so much. So I'm going to reduce this down to at least half, and then I will cool it very quickly. Cool it in about 4 or 5 different stainless steel bowls. You have to cool it down within 2 hours because that's the health requirement. And then as soon as it's cold enough to go into the fridge, we put it in the fridge, and it may only take an hour because I put it in so many containers. And then we freeze it. And I always freeze my stocks in these containers because they stack so well, and I date them on the top. So with the fish stock, that's what we had left over after we used what we needed, the 3 litres in the crab stock. So the crab stock, when you think about it, is going to be just fabulous because it's got a nice fish stock and all those crustacea and the vegetables in it. So when you feel like making a seriously good fish stew, fish soup, do consider making it one of these nice blue swimmer crab stocks. Never throw out your prawn shells, any shells at all, seafood shells, because they will always make a nice flavoursome stock, and I use them all the time. Okay, so enjoy your stock making.